All right, welcome guys. My name is Darrel, and today we are going to fully optimize your website with the all-in-one SEO plugin. Now, for those of you who have no idea what the all-in-one SEO plugin does, it basically optimizes your website for search engines like Google, Yahoo, and Bing. It tells people what your website is all about. So right here, this is an example of my website, darrelwilson.com, how to make a WordPress website. You can see we have some description right here and a title. Now the all-in-one SEO plugin does this same exact feature. So right here, you can see on this website, we are a pizza website, and the search engines are going to index it right here because I'm telling it what I want to say in the search engines. And I spelled something wrong right here. So we're going to change that. And now you can see right here, it gives us a preview of what it's going to look like in the search engines. So we're going to optimize our pages for all of the major search engines. Now, all along with this, we're also going to verify our website with the Google Search Console. So your website will be fully certified and verified with Google. And we are going to also be connecting it with Google Analytics so we can see exactly who's coming to our website, what country they're coming from, how long they're there, all sorts of really cool information. And we'll also be submitting our sitemap. So every website needs a sitemap and also a robots file to basically let Google know, hey, we're here, come search us. And it's like a directory basically of your website. So if you don't have this right now, your website is basically running blind. So by having all these, your website will be fully optimized for Google and also Bing. So we're also going to be installing the Google Webmaster Tools. So, guys, 15% of people are still on Bing. And that's millions and millions of people. So we can't just sit there and say, oh, everyone's on Google. So I'm also going to show you how you can verify your website with Bing Webmaster Tools to basically make sure that your website's optimized for all major search engines, okay? So the first thing I want you guys to do is go ahead and download the plugin. Now, it's a free plugin. You guys can also download it. There's a link in the description to get this plugin. You guys can go ahead and download it, or you guys can go ahead and download it from wordpress.org. All right, and I'm gonna go ahead and walk you guys through step by step on all of the options, give you guys recommendations, tell you guys what I personally think is good and suitable for SEO. All right, so right here, after you guys install the plugin, well, first off, hold on. Do you guys know how to install it? If you guys don't, I'm gonna go ahead and show you because some people out there don't know how to install plugins. That's perfectly fine. Everyone starts from the beginning somewhere. So right here, we're gonna go to plugins and go to add new. And then you're gonna go ahead and search for the plugin. Now you can also go over here to upload plugin and choose the file, which is right here. And also you guys can use the link. So, it's a free plugin, doesn't cost you anything. Or you guys can go ahead and search for it right here. It's the all-in-one SEO. All right, and you guys can see right here, it has 1 million active installs. It's pretty tied with Yoast. So they're both really, really cool plugins. So, it has really good reviews. It is a very good SEO plugin. So once you guys activate this and install it, you're gonna see this little icon go over here appear to the top left. So go over here and go to general settings. And I'm gonna run you through all of these options and kind of explain what they are. A lot of these options, guys, you will not need them, okay? I'm just gonna go ahead and let you guys know. Many of these options are for big time SEO companies with very strategic purposes, but for 95% of everyone else, it's pretty much self-explanatory and easy. So the first thing right here is the canonical URLs. And guys, you're always gonna leave this checked because this is basically letting Google and Bing other search engines know what to index. It also helps prevent duplicate content issues. Now this right here is for custom links. So if you have your links onto, I believe it's page, then that will basically take off the page on your URL. Now you guys can always go to settings and permalinks. Now I leave my permalinks on post name all the time, but if you have it under plain right here, it will get rid of the pagination right there. You guys can see. But my personal recommendation, and most SEO experts, is going to always tell you to leave your permalinks at post name. All right, so going back over here to our general settings, right here, we're not going to enable the original title because we're going to go ahead and make our own. And then right here also we have the custom canonical URL. So this is basically if you want to have custom URLs for your website. You guys can always enable this, and then when you actually go to your page and you kind of decorate it, you can actually customize your own link to basically show a different description in the search engines. Now you can also do like log important events. So basically if you want to know what's going on your website, you can leave that checked and they'll let you know what's going on. Now our homepage settings. So if you guys leave this default, it's actually going to use the basic information that you first used to install WordPress with. So right here we go to settings and go to general. And right here I have WordPress tutorials, and I'm sure you guys have all seen this before, just another WordPress site. So if you leave it blank, it's going to go ahead and put that. So I would basically change this to something that you'd want. So right here you can, WordPress tutorials or whatever you want to talk about. So you can actually leave it blank there, and it'll actually just provide the information you set right there. All right, so going down right here. Now the static front page, guys, leave that disabled. Generally, most people will basically set their home page to a static front page or their blog. So over our settings, I believe it's under the general, or it's under the reading. It's also in most theme customizers. So basically, you're just setting the static front page. So right here, you can see I've already set my static front page to home, and post page, I just left it blank. Now the plugin can also do that, but guys, I mean, just do it here. Don't rely on the plugin for it, because if it ever deactivates or stops working, it can really cause some damage. So you want to make sure that that's disabled, and just go ahead and set the static front page yourself. All right. Now we have also the rewrite titles. So right here we have all of these page titles and these category titles. Now guys, I'm going to recommend to get rid of all of these right here, because what this will do, if you leave the blog title up, it can cause duplicate content issues where you have like the same title, then another title, and then your description of your page or blog, and it's just going to look really funny. So just get rid of all these right here. You don't need any of these. All right. You just need title and excerpt. That's it. Title and excerpt. Here they call it description, but excerpt and title is basically all you need. Okay. So scrolling down here, SEO for custom post types. I'm going to go ahead and leave that enabled. Now SEO on these post types. So generally you basically want your pages and your posts SEO on. You don't really care too much about like other information, but the most important ones that you have is your pages and your posts. And then right here we have the enable advanced options. Now guys, I'll be very honest, a lot of their advanced options are very redundant and almost pointless, but we're gonna go through them anyways. Just, I'll just talk about what they do and everything else. So right here we have custom titles. Now guys, also just one more reminder, if you guys ever need help, you guys can always click on these little links right here, and they give you a full description of basically what these do. So custom titles gives you the option to manually set the format of the title tags for each of your custom post types and custom taxonomies. But I generally, I'm gonna be very honest, I wouldn't mess with that at all. So I'm gonna go ahead and say, you know what, I don't really need that. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave this disabled. Display settings, we have that set to our posts and page. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave that blank. Now this section right here is very important. So Google Webmaster Tool. So basically we want to let Google know that we own this property, and basically let them know that we can, add our sitemap to it and our robot.txt. But this is the first process. So you guys will actually need to go to the googlesearchconsole.com. And this page right here is currently mine right here. Now you guys will actually have to go to Google Search Console. You'll have to enter your website, and you'll have to kind of like go through this little process of registering and everything else. But you're going to be brought to a page that looks something similar to this right here. Now, when you get here, so you can see I have my website right here as wpdarrel.com. Now you just need this information right here. That is all you need. Okay. Now I'm just going to go ahead and copy all of this, and I'm going to go back to my website right here and go ahead and just paste it all in there. Okay, but I only need this information right here. These numbers are the only important things that I have, so that I need. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that in. So basically I am setting up my website for Google Webmaster Tools. Now we also need to do this for Bing Webmaster Tools, or here they call it, there's some different names because they call it Webmaster Tools, but a long time ago they changed their name, but everyone still refers to Google Search Console as Webmaster Tools, but it's not. They changed it. But then right here they have Webmaster Central. I don't know. They're so back and forth with everything. It's crazy. So over here under the Bing Webmaster Tools, now I made an account. So you guys will need to go ahead and make an account. So right here you can see sign in. You're out to a page that looks something like this right here. I hope they don't change this in the future, but I'm just gonna go ahead and click on my URL. And right here you see I have this meta tag. So I'm gonna go ahead and copy this, and I'm gonna go ahead and put this right here. Now again, I'm just gonna go ahead and take this. I just want this information right here. That's it. All right, so just those numbers. Now Pinterest site verification, you're on your own. Guys, I don't use Pinterest, so I think I've said this before in my other tutorial. I don't really use it, and I know my ex-girlfriend used it. She loved it, but I don't use it. Now for the Google Plus default profile, you're gonna want to go ahead and put it right here. I personally think that's Google Plus is kind of dead. You know, a lot of people don't use it. I see Google Plus being used more for kind of like just promoting your website, right? Like people they kind of just like throw it on Google Plus, like, yeah, start of Google Plus, you know, but I don't really think anyone even like goes on that site no more. But I could be very, very wrong. I'm probably wrong, but I personally don't use it, but I like to share things on it. Now right here, we have Google Analytics ID. I said it right that time. Analytics ID. It's not Analytics. So right here, you guys will actually need to go to your Google Analytics account. You guys will need to make an account. It's free, doesn't cost anything. And once you're done like registering, setting up your websites, you'll be brought to a page that looks something like this right here. Now, if you guys don't know where this is, you guys can always kind of mess around with your settings and everything else. But I don't want to go through the whole process of showing you how to set up an analytics account because it's basically just like, you know, email checking and all that stuff. So right here, I'm gonna go to my property settings. Now right here, I have a tracking ID. I'm gonna go ahead and take this tracking ID and paste it in the settings right here of Google Analytics ID. All right. Now no index. So what do you not want indexed? I recommend leaving most of this blank, and especially the no follow. So I would personally leave this blank, not unless you are instructed by your SEO company to do this, but I personally think that you guys should go ahead and leave this blank. Now right here we have these options right here. Ooh, my mouse messed up. Now they do check this for no index on date archives, author archives, and categories. Now the reason why they do this is because, again, this can cause duplicate content issues, and the all-in-one SEO plugin already knows this. So they've basically said, look, just go ahead and check these out, because if you leave this unchecked, there's a possibility that you can create duplicate content. If Google finds out you're creating duplicate content, they will know right away. They'll give you like a week to clean it up, but if you don't clean it up, guess what? They throw you on page 1000. And you know, once you guys get penalized by Google, there's you can't call nobody. You can't talk to anybody. You basically just have to work from scratch and keep going all the way up to back to where you were before, okay? So scrolling down here, we have other no index for 404 and everything else, but I would leave those unchecked because Google likes to know, you know, what is your 404 page. If, you know, someone types in the wrong URL, they'll go to a 404 page, etc. Advanced settings. All right, we have some completely useless settings in here, but you know, it's if you want it, you know, you can go ahead and use it. Actually, you know, maybe the excluding pages would be good. Now, anytime you guys would probably want to exclude a page from the search engines or for SEO purposes are things like sales or things that are short term. So if you have a page that you're like, you know, winter sale, a 4-day sale, that is a good example of excluding pages. Now, most people would basically change their page to accommodate it, but if you create a brand new page and you don't want it indexed, you can go ahead and, you know, exclude the pages there. That's a good idea, that if you guys are doing something short term. But generally, I would go ahead and leave most of these blank, because most of these right here are actually more harmful to your website than helpful. For example, auto-generating descriptions. We don't want that, because we wanted to generate our own descriptions. We want to basically, that's why we're using this plugin, right? Like, so we can tell the search engines what we want found. So the advanced settings, not unless your SEO company instructs you to use these. I'm going to strongly recommend to not use the advanced options. And again, keywords, Google does not use meta keywords anymore, so they've actually left this disabled by default. But you guys can always go ahead and check it out and read more about it. But it's right here. I'm going to go to update options. All right, so we've updated our options. The next thing we're going to do is go to our feature manager. Now, guys, also there is 2 more links in the description. There's one to freelancer.com, and there's another one for an SEO class. And I'm also going to do one for a freelancer class. So basically, you know, this right here, what we're doing is like half the battle. On-page optimization is very important, but there is another thing you have to do, which is off-page. And there is a video on that. It's a free video. It's completely free. I just basically run you through what you have to do to get ranked higher. But before we do that, we need to make sure our site is on-page optimized. So right here we have XML sitemaps. Social meta, we have robot text file, file editor, import, bad blocker. Now, I'm actually going to give you a quick overview of all of these before we jump into them. So XML sitemap, that is basically a sitemap for Google, Yahoo, and Bing. It's kind of like a directory. They need to know where to go. They need to know what your site's about. Now, if someone shares your website, you need this set up because, you know, when you share a website, there's like an image and some description. That is what this section controls. The robot text files tells Google bots and other bots what to index and what not to index, and also allowing them in certain sections and not allowing them in certain sections. And I'm going to give you guys a piece of text that is suitable for WordPress users only. So if you're watching this and you're not using WordPress, do not use the robot text file I'm going to give you. This is only for WordPress users, which I want to be honest, probably 95% of you watching this are. Now right here we have file editor, which is basically where you can edit the robot text file, but not to worry. I'm going to give you one for free that will help optimize your website. The importer and exporter. So this basically takes your settings and you can upload it to other sites. So once we do everything else, you know, we save everything and everything's done, we can take all of our settings and go ahead and import it to another website instead of doing it all from scratch. Bad bot blocker. I have some theories on this one. Basically, it allows certain bots to index your sites, or quote bad bots not to allow, you know, to search your site. And then right here we have performance. We'll go ahead and talk more about that. So right here I'm gonna go to XML sitemaps, activate it, activate this, activate this. I'm gonna go ahead and activate all these right here. Okay. So we have all these checked. So let's go to performance. Now guys, generally you really have no control over your server. So they give you options right here, like raise the memory limits. But if your server, like the server I'm on, it maxes out at 128. So putting it at 256 won't do anything at all. So just leave most of these blanks right here. If you guys have a problem with your hosting company, give them a call. Don't rely on this plugin because they're more suitable to talk to you about, you know, your memory upload size and all that other stuff. Now, guys, if you ever get like an error saying there's you don't have enough upload size when you're uploading a theme, you need to call your company and have them increase your PHP max upload size. That's a very common one because some companies accidentally give you like 5 or 12 sometimes. I've seen that on accident. So this right here, we don't really need to mess with this too much. XML sitemap. Now I'm going to skip the sitemap. We're going to come to this in just a little bit. Let's go to the social meta right here. So right here we have our site name, our home title, our home description, and our home image. Now you guys will need to decorate this to basically say if somebody shares your website to search or to social media websites like Twitter or Facebook, what do you want it to say? So right here, I'm going to say home title. You can also put it home description. Now, if you guys leave it blank, it's going to use the ones that you have in your basic settings in your theme by default. But if you want to go ahead and change that, you want to get more customizable, you can always go ahead and do that. Now, again, guys, if you ever need help, like you need to know what the site name is, you guys can always refer to the documentation or, you know, just, you know, they really help you all along the way. But I'm going to go ahead and leave these unchecked. Image setting. So you guys can choose to use default image, or you can go ahead and upload your own image. And then right here, you can set the default image width and the image height. Now, I don't want to go too much into images, guys, because we can talk about image sizing for days. You know, I'm sure a lot of you all know that image sizing is probably one of the most annoying things in WordPress. Now, social profile links. This is where you're going to put your social profiles. So another tip, guys, if you're using Facebook, you need to make sure that you're using a Facebook fan page. So like whatever your fan page is, mine is like D Wilson 03 or something like that. You're gonna go ahead and put it there. Now, if you have a Google Plus account, you're gonna put it here. You're gonna put the URL of your profile. So right here, you can do something like Pinterest. You can do LinkedIn. You can do what's another social media? Twitter. People use Twitter. And whatever else social people thing they use. Yeah, so. And then are you a person or organization? I'm gonna say I'm a person. Now you can also set like I'm associated name. So instead of saying like I'm Darrel Wilson, you can say no, like I am the Patty Whack or something, or whatever you're known for. So right here you also have the Facebook settings. Now right here you want to put your admin ID. If you guys are a developer and you guys are using an app or you are aware of your app ID, you can go ahead and put it right there. Now again, you generally want it to just index pages and posts. And you guys can go ahead and read through some of these other ones. Now these are basically pretty self-explanatory, you know, for social. So again, for Twitter, you can go ahead and put the same thing, Twitter site, show author title, and then put your domain right there or your URL. And then for the advanced options, I would recommend that your SEO company does that. I would not recommend that you do that at all, because you can really damage your website if you're checking boxes that you're not sure what they're doing. So just leave it blank, okay? So here I'm gonna go to update options. Robot text file. All right, this is interesting. Now, I'm gonna give you guys a file right here that basically I believe is great for WordPress. Now, if you guys can also use the one that is default right here. So by default, you guys will actually create their own robot text file. You always go to say robot.txt, and then right here you can go to optimize. If you can scroll down right here, it's gonna let you know, like the little question mark saying, hey, you know, the yellow indicator means that it may or may not recognize the robot text file, so you may need to do a little bit of work. But of course, green is always good. I'm gonna go over here really quick, and I'm gonna take this piece of code. It's not really code. It's just it's commands. It's just commands. Uh-oh, I opened something up. Oh. All right, so I'm gonna go back over here. Now, if you guys want to actually change this, we need to actually go to our file editor. So the file editor is basically where you can actually change the sitemap. So right here, I'm gonna go ahead and just paste it right there. And I'll update the robot text file. Now guys, this file will actually go ahead and upload to your server. So if you need to see if it was created, you'll go to your file manager, and you'll go to your domain, and you'll see a little file called robot.txt. So that file should be created somewhere in your cPanel. So you want to make sure that it was created. HT access, I'm not going to get into that because, yeah, just don't do that. Just don't get into any of that stuff. You don't want to. Okay? So I'm going to update the robot.txt file. Now, guys, if you always want to kind of like experiment and see what your competitors are using for the robot text or somebody else, like this is my website, darrelwilson.com. And for example, we can actually see my robot text. So just going over here, typing in robots.txt, you can see this is mine right here. Now, I cannot really give you advice or anything else as far as robot.txt. It's too deep, you know, it's too deep, and it's for your SEO company, okay? But, you know, you can also do something like Neil Patel, and then you can also check out his robot text. That's his robot text. So you can kind of see everybody's, you know. But if you're not familiar with any of this, guys, hire an SEO company from Freelancer. I have another video about it. Save yourself the don't take risks, you know, don't do it. So here I'm gonna go ahead and go to update, import and exporter. Of course, you guys can always import this. So you can always just say, yeah, I want to export the general settings and everything else. I want to go ahead and import the social media, XML sitemap, all this stuff, and then you can go click on import, and it's basically going to give you a file, and then with that file, you can go ahead and take it anywhere else. So right here, let's go on over to our sitemap. All right, now this is actually very important. So you can actually view your sitemap. So right here, I have view your sitemap. I'm gonna click on this, and voila, this is my sitemap. So you can see that basically I'm kind of like saying, oh yeah, index this, don't index this, you know, etc. And you guys can always go ahead and check out sitemaps on other websites like my own. So right here, go and copy this, and I'm gonna go over here to darrelwilson.com, and then I can just add that at the end, and then it'll just kind of like, you know, you guys can see it, you know, it's right here. And on this one, I'm currently using Yoast. So you can see that I have my sitemap all set up. So I'm gonna show you how to get yours set up, because it's very important that your sitemap is set up. So right here we have schedule updates. Now guys, I would not set a schedule because we're actually gonna go ahead and submit it ourselves. So right here, I'm gonna go ahead and say, yeah, you know, I want most of this stuff indexed. Right here, they have data archive pages and author pages. Now, if you guys are running a membership website, you may want to index the author, but if you guys are not doing like a membership website or like a personal profile website, I would just leave that blank, you know, because these again can create issues if you activate them, okay? So right here, we have it linked with our robot text file. That's why we did the robot text file first and all this other stuff, okay? Now they do have page priority. but by default, they already set it up for us. So right here, we have like page priority, and you can basically like say like, you know, you can give something priority over another. But personally, I don't think it's recommended. Now, remember, you cannot tell Google search engines what to do. You can only kind of influence them. You can only tell them like, hey, you know, like we want this page a little bit more than the others, but you really can't command them. But we'll go ahead and upload the sitemap ourselves. So right here, I'm gonna go to update sitemap. All right. So right here, view your sitemap. So you're gonna take this link right here. So after you go through some of these options right here, you know, right here we have like the page priority. You can get like a page priority, and then the frequency you can set it to something like, you know, I want this specific URL checked a little bit more, like daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. Now, if you're doing a lot of changes, you know, you can do something like daily or something like that. But if you're not really changing it, just leave it as always, or let Google just do its thing and kind of, you know, index it when they get to it. And then most of these right here, you might not want to exclude your categories. So those are like the post categories. And then also you can do like excluded pages. And we talked about that earlier, such as something like sales or something short term. Because what's going to happen is if you have like a sales page for like Black Friday, and then it's like, you know, August, they're going to say it's floating on the internet somewhere. It's because it's being indexed. So you're like, I have this worthless page on the internet, like that's ranking. And it can, you know, cause bounce rates and stuff. So you might want to take that out, you know. And also you can set up priorities for these right here. But, you know, I really don't think that you should. You can also do something like frequencies, like how often. But then again, you can, you know, choose to mess around with these or not. You know, this is also kind of experimental because I don't really know how successful your results will be with frequencies or anything else. But I'm going to go ahead and just say, you know what, I'm not going to go ahead and override the settings. And I'm going to go ahead and click on view the sitemap. Now, what do you do with the sitemap? Well, you guys will need to actually go ahead and go to your Google Search Console. Now, once you verify your property, remember how we talked about earlier, the Google Search Console right here? You take the tag, you give it there, you click on verify. Now, guys, if you click on verify and it doesn't verify, trust me, I've had that problem before. It's really frustrating and annoying, but unfortunately, you're going to have to just do your best. Now, you guys can also get past that by hiring an SEO company. I do have some recommendations. If you guys have, you know, if you guys are interested, leave it in the comments and I will go ahead and recommend. I have like 3 SEO companies I work with, so they're pretty good. One of them is a little bit more pricier, but you know, as long as I'm getting results, I really don't care because I know what they're doing is correct. Now, over here under the Google Search Console, I'm going to go over here to add test a sitemap. Now, before you add this sitemap, you can go ahead and test it. So right here, I have wpdarrel.com, and then right here, I'm going to go ahead and paste it. Now, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of all that and just have sitemap.xml. Go ahead and test. Now, guys, I already have a sitemap, so you guys can see it's there. No errors found. It can read the web pages, and it reads. We know it's working, you know. Now, also, you can do something like the robot text tester. You can go ahead and check out the robot text to see if that's working or not. Let's see. We'll go to robots.txt. And this is for Googlebot. And we'll talk more about the other bots, like RFs and all these other bots that you can allow and disallow and everything else. And then you can also like fetch as Google, so you can go ahead and like, you know, see how Google renders your pages. You can have all sorts of cool fun stuff right here by testing out URLs and seeing what Google thinks about your website, etc. Okay, so basically that is how you submit your sitemap. And again, the sitemap is basically a directory on telling people, you know, what to search, where to go, etc. Now, every website should be having a sitemap. So you don't have a sitemap, I would recommend getting it right now, or you're hiring an SEO company. Either way, see that right there, hello world. I should not be indexing that. You know, that's a big error. So the sitemap can actually tell you guys, you know, like what you shouldn't be indexing, because hello world, we all know that's a page that was created when you first install WordPress. So reading through some of these will give you ideas, but again, this is a demo website, so this is not something that I use every single day. All right. All right, so scrolling down here, the next one that we're going to do is the bad bot blocker. All right. Now, guys, I recommend I don't know, I'm mixed on it. You can either use it or not use it, but if you enable this right here, the plugin may sometimes make the error of believing that these quote bad bots can be something helpful to your websites. Now, if you are going to use this, I would recommend using the custom block lists. So basically that it's saying, look, I don't want the RFs, I don't want them indexing my sites. You know, these websites basically collect data on your website, and some of these websites even sell that data to say, hey, you know what, you want to know what that website's worth? We have, you know, we've been crawling his website, we know all about it. If you don't want that out, you can go ahead and just say, you know what, I don't want that out, etc. You know, you can get rid of it. And then scrolling down, they have all sorts of different search engines, like I believe Alexa, Amazon, Google, they all have, you know, certain bots like SEMrush. I'm sure you guys have heard of SEMrush. You can say, you know what, I don't want them collecting data on me because they actually use that data to show competitors and to compete with you. So, you know, that might be something worth your time to sort of get rid of. But I would only recommend the block list. I wouldn't recommend the these other ones. Consult your SEO company, see what they have to say about it until you do that. But I'm going to go ahead and say, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and just update these options. And feature manager, which is basically back to this section right here. So we went through the XML sitemaps, we went through the social meta, we went through the robot.txt file, the file editor, the importer and exporter. Now guys, also that code, I will go ahead and leave it in the description for the WordPress users for robot.txt, and then the bad bot blocker, and then also for the performance. So that basically, you know, optimizes everything and makes it all good. I think I said it right here. So this basically just checks your server information. So yeah, also guys, their pro version, I highly recommend to get their pro version because the pro version will give you access to their forums, and their forums actually will tell you if you're doing something right or if you're doing something wrong. So they can actually save you a lot of money if you want to upgrade and get their pro version. Now I have their pro version, and the great part about the pro version is that you actually have access to their, I'm gonna go to my other website right here, their access to the other websites, or the forums, I mean. So the forums will actually give you other information about it. So I'm gonna go over here to something like, this is my other websites. Now also don't leave yet. If you guys think I'm closing, I'm not closing because we're gonna have to show you how to actually optimize your page. So right here, I have the all-in-one SEO, and I have my license key right here, and they have premium support forums. So all these people out here ask all these questions, you know, and you can, you know, search something like for the robot.txt and thinking, you know, am I doing this right? You know, am I actually setting up my robot.txt file correctly? So right here, this guy says, you know, I have a fetch error, something's wrong. And right away, these guys say, hey, you know what, we're gonna go ahead and fix it. And then voila, you know, the guy's happy. And then, you know, everything's done. So guys, it's like having your own personal SEO company on standby. So there is a link in the description to purchase it. If you guys purchase it, I do make a small commission. If you don't, no problem. You know, I'll starve another day. So, all right. So going back over here to our page right here. Now let's go ahead and go to one of our pages. So I'm gonna go to right here and go to all pages. Now this is probably one of the most important features about this tutorial. So going over here, we have the description right here. So right here again, we have WP Darrel, the best pizza place for you, and then we have 60% off pizza. And then right here we have it again. So we have our pizza is made with real ingredients, and again, you guys can, you know, put whatever you want here. I'm gonna go ahead and change that. So it was a little buggy right there, but we got it fixed. And then we can also exclude this from sitemap. So again, if you are making a page that's not really relevant to your website, such as short-term sales, like one-day deals, that would be something to work with. You can also set this to no follow or no index. But again, you would never want that for your homepage, not unless you're some really shady website doing all sorts of weird stuff. And then right here, you can put your description. Now guys, by default, you cannot go past 160 characters. So basically, if you go past 160 characters, you see how it turns red right there? That basically lets you know that the search engines will not index anything more than 160 characters. So there's no point. There's no point to do that. So even if you keep typing, now the advanced options allow you to actually do this and save it, but it's pointless because Google and Bing aren't going to index it. They're going to say, I don't care what you have to say. We don't care. You know, you have to follow our rules, you know? So that's basically what this does right here. And again, each page will have this description right here in the search engine, okay? And then also for the social settings, you guys can also set this up. And it's really cool because they actually pull a lot of the images from your website to make it even easier. So if someone wants to share this, if someone wants to go ahead and show their friend, right here you can put the title, description, you can grab the image, or you can have a custom image. You can specify the width and the length. Now by default, I believe it's responsive. And then of course you can, do Facebook debug, which basically lets you know what errors are going on. And then you guys can go through some of this right here, like a custom Twitter image or whatever you guys want, So, all right, so I'm gonna go ahead and go back up and go to updates. Now there was one more thing that I want to mention, and that was the custom link that I talked about earlier. So right here, I'm gonna go to general settings. I'm gonna go ahead and show you what that does. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to enable custom canonical URL. Now I'm gonna go to a page right here. Go to edits. You guys like my website? Yeah, is it good? Looks good. All right. Custom canonical URL. So right here, you can go ahead and say, like, instead of saying wpdarrel.com, you can say like wpdarrel.com dash like great deals today, or like April sale or something. So, that something like that. April, or like April deals. People might see that in the URL, it might catch their eye, and they might be like, oh, that's pretty cool. But I would not recommend using the custom canonical URLs, not unless your SEO company instructs you to. Okay, now also, I guess I do have links for other SEO classes and tutorials that will really help you out. So be sure to check those out. All right, hope you guys enjoyed my tutorial. I hope this was helpful. I hope you guys liked my websites. If you guys like it, give me a thumbs up. If you do not like it, just give it a thumbs down. Just be real. Just tell me the truth. Like if you don't like it, just all right. So I hope you guys enjoy this tutorial, and I'll see you guys all later.